Even Paul in the Bible, he said something. I might not quote it right, but he said something that if you cannot, whatever you cannot stay away from, whatever you cannot handle, stay away from. Paul wasn't married. The first pope, he wasn't married. Do you understand? He wasn't. So he never got married. But he never discredited people that, you understand, got married. Now, even in the Anglican, even in Christendom, there are people that are referred to as monks. You have them, they choose not to get married, but they would, you understand, stay away from things, do you understand, because are for married people.
Because even our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is not married.
He never got married.
But he wasn't having sex, bro.
Well, let's not.
Do you know? But let's not go there. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Jesus. No, don't join my head with you. Don't join my head, please.
So the thing is, the Bible. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your one and only podcast show where we talk about anything and everything as concerns marriage. Now that you're married podcast. On this episode of our podcast, we're going to be talking about a topic that is very personal to me. You know, being an unmarried guy, we tend to have some level of discrimination. Nobody talks about it, but it's discrimination. So we're going to talk about it today, where you seems not to be complete, where you seems not to matter because you're not married. You're standing with your mates, your equal, supposed equal, and there's some level of what is he even saying? He's not even married. So that brings me to that topic. Is marriage not overrated? So I have some people here that I want to believe will want to disagree with me because they are part of the problem I'm talking about. That will always want to let me know
with you
that marriage, go and marry because they are all married and want to put it down my throat like I'm missing something. So to my immediate right, I have Mr. Steven. One would like to call the lyrics, Mr. Lyrica. How far? Say hello to my people now.
Ade, what's up? How you doing?
Sing your name.
Oh, this guy can sing on any key.
I hear you.
You get to know about the singing part some other time, some other episode, right? So let's talk to Mr. Benjamin. Say hello to my people.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to see you guys once again. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Thank you for having me.
So let's have to my extreme right.
Yeah, my name is Chukwemeka Onduka. So marriage overrated. Start. So is marriage overrated? No.
First of all, okay, you don't believe it's overrated.
No, it can't be. It can never be. Because first of all, I'm a Christian and I believe in it. It's an institution I believe in, and so far so good. Even if times are changing and every other thing, I feel it's just a way of
Wait, let me cut you before you go, because you're trying to make all of us look like we're not Christian. Is it really stated in the Bible that we should get married?
So not to quote wrongly,
like specifically the word marriage,
you must
go
There's a portion in the Bible that says a man
will live.
Yes, and cling
when
on
you
to
say
his
live,
wife, yeah.
these days people live.
When you are cleaving, you are getting married.
Don't forget the Bible passage that said, "He who findeth a wife." So if there's not going to be marriage, then why would the Bible tell you about wife?
Did he really use that word wife, or it was translated to me?
No. I think it's
like to be translated. His wife
like
is wife.
no, it's he who findeth a wife, findeth a good thing.
So for me, marriage is not overrated. I feel the problem is people are trying to justify their personal fantasies. Do you understand? They're trying to justify their fantasies by saying marriage is overrated. Example. You would hear a guy and he would say he just wants to live the good life, maybe have babies, do you understand? Have baby mamas, take care of them and all. And when I hear people say that, I always say, when a guy or a female is saying this, it's because you can finance what you're saying. If you don't have the money, you cannot have a baby mama.
But getting married does not make you have the money.
True.
So if you don't have the money, you don't. No.
True. But what it does is marriage in a way would curtail your extravagant life.
Yeah, I've seen extravagant marriage.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is this, yeah. I am not saying that people that are married are not extravagant. It's not what I am saying. But what I'm saying is, you get some kind of life where you as an individual won't live. You don't get the funds to do them. So those are the things that are limiting you. Like there was somewhere I went to, and somebody said something. They said, a man can only be faithful. No, a broke man can only be faithful. When you see a very rich man that can afford a whole lot of things and is faithful, then he's truly faithful. Do you understand?
Just like saying
why do people say that?
I think it's just a saying because when people are rich, they feel they can afford every other thing.
Just like saying somebody is broke and humble.
Exactly.
When you are broke, you are already humble.
It's a default setting.
Like broke brings you to the humble
to be humble. But when you have money and when we are talking of money, we are talking of wealth.
No, but sorry to cut. But to me, most problems I've seen, in marriages, I think I see even the broke ones, being so brutal and not even
it's
the rich
anger
ones.
now. When a man is broke, he's angry.
Marriage does not being broke does not humble a man. To me, you understand?
When
Except probably the woman.
No, I think when Emeka says humble, it's not in the sense of humble as a man, because a man naturally have ego. I think it's humble in the sense of extravagant things that you would now want to venture into. Like, okay, it takes money to carry women, right? Nice. It takes money to
live life.
It takes money to live
of course,
the life.
Generally.
So now, if you are that person that wants to live the life and you have the money to live the life, then opportunity, jam chance, and event, everything happens. But you want to live the life, you don't have the money to live the life, then sometimes you not come and remember that I'm even a child of God.
It keeps you calm.
Yes.
It brings
and maybe that's the right word, because if you're saying humble,
talking about humble, somebody's
that
to be humble, right? Yeah,
Okay, guys, in my very good opinion, I think I disagree with Emeka totally, because
guy, why you be saying me you go disagree? But why me you go disagree?
We forget the fact that
disagree with Emeka means you're agreeing with me.
Yes, I'm totally agreeing with you that marriage is actually overrated in this part of the world.
Okay.
Here in Nigeria, marriage is actually overrated. We forget the fact that there's a lot of societal pressure. If you're not married,
you get up to so many things.
You get pressure from your mother, from your family, you get pressure from friends, you get pressure from your society, and there's a common thing around the ladies that are not married, because I've witnessed this personally. Like, you don't get the amount of respect you
for
get
them. So it looks like they are not complete until
exactly. So
the same lady, same age that is married is getting more value, more respect.
Yes. They value you in the societal. Even if you're having a meeting, there's a kind of meeting you'll be having, a round table kind of meeting. If you're not married, you can't even.
So to me,
so I feel in this part of the world,
I think
let
me share my personal experience about marriage. I happen to be the last of a large family.
Are you married?
Calm down.
Now what for you?
That's not my story. That's my story. I happen to be the last of a large family, and sometimes because my mom has been retired to the village, because being the last of a large family, you would believe that my mom should be old by now. So sometimes when any of my brothers or sisters travel to the village to see mom, she will send things, and when she's sending those things, she will divide it. Okay, give this to this person, give this to this person. Most times there's never give anything to me. And I think maybe it's an oversight, but most time when I have to call, like, Alpha, they share things I saw, or like, what do you need it for? Are you even married? What will you be needing for more for? What will you be forgetting that unmarried people eat. Unmarried people they cook.
They have responsibilities.
Unmarried people have responsibility. Unmarried people have kitchen, have pot. So now you're making it. You are sharing those things. You give my brothers that are married, my sisters that are married, and I will now have to go and buy those same thing in the market. It's not a punishment for me for not being married.
Now, let me say mine. I think to me, in this part, just like what Mr. Steven said, in this part of Africa, Nigeria, or the world here, yes, marriage is overrated.
Okay.
It affects virtually everything you do as a young guy. There are some business colleagues or companies that won't even actually give you face.
Person.
There is this word that they will tell you that you are not responsible. In fact, there are some travelings you want to make. They'll be like, no, we can't give you a visa because they are seeing you as if you are not responsible just because
You're not married.
you're not married.
So the question is,
You
should that
understand?
be the case?
So I
Can't,
feel,
because you're saying, does marriage automatically now make somebody responsible?
no.
Is an
No, I
irresponsible
disagree with
person
that
in
one.
marriage not
No.
still an irresponsible guy?
No, because there are even
Yes.
men that beat women and they are not responsible. There are men that are rapists, that
Mhm.
married men. There are men that are, serial killers that do a whole lot. Now, what it does is this: when you get married, there is this sense of responsibility that people attach to you.
Yeah, people.
You don't attach it to yourself.
at all.
So people attach it to you that, oh, Emeka is
He's
now
not
like
responsible.
me now. Before there were people in my gathering. Yeah, do you understand that? On a normal day, I would say, good morning, sir. How are you? And they would just greet me in person.
But now they greet
But
you with that
now,
married
yes,
man.
so now they greet me
How are
with
you? How's
very,
your wife?
yeah, how's your wife? How's your baby? You understand? Oh, how are you doing today? How is everything?
So you
So
see-
now, don't
so
you
see
think
that
that
selfish
don't you
part now?
think that
Because
marriage
it's now overrated.
overrated.
So
So
because yesterday you were not, this person is not really greeting you for you. It's not giving you that value
It's
of
attaching because of the status
Emeka.
that you are
Yeah,
acquired.
now is not saluting marriage.
Yes.
Not you. It's the person is not saying you have sense.
It's,
Because that's what we are thinking.
it's actually in
Because
this part
when
of,
some people get married,
of
they
the
not
world
think
anyway.
people think they have sense.
Okay, so I have a question.
Because people respect
So I-
you.
so I have
They
a-
are respecting that institution called marriage,
Fine.
not
yes,
you.
not you. Yeah.
So I have a question. Let's take it this other way. Imagine when you somebody is, or a young man is broke.
Mm-hmm.
Then imagine when the man has money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just give an example. Every member of any big brother that has happened, past, present,
Or the one that will still
continuing, or the one that will still happen, immediately the same individual enters the big brother house, automatically that person's status changes.
So you are trying to say circumstances
Yes, because
change how people look at you.
all over the world. Now, even abroad, that we are even saying, over there it is also overrated, if you want to put it that way. Because I have watched movies, I have watched documentaries where let's give the example of the royal family. You can't be a royal if you're not married. It's not possible.
So that still means marriage is overrated.
It's not. I feel it is the idea from different people that are overrated. Because if you
No,
say,
I think what you're saying.
You know the point there.
you're
Emeka is
still on
going
the
to
point
give
that-
us.
Yes.
Emeka is going to give us 2 million illustrations just to prove marriage is not overrated.
because
But
for
the
me-
truth still remains that
It's
for me,
overrated.
anything that once you add a title of something to something and it changed that something, it now means that the emphasis is not on that. Okay, Steven is my
Sorry,
guy.
can
Steven
I-
is my guy. I
okay.
know normally.
All right.
I know normally. Say Steven know to get sense in all aspects.
I agree. I know too. I know.
You get,
I know.
No, guy, we told you. Don't be saying no get sense,
you're
But-
talking to a married man.
Yeah, this is the point.
Imagine.
So now,
You're
because
talking
he's
to a
married,
married man.
now, I can no longer now say this my guy when I don't say no too wise for some area. I will now want to now choose my words that
Yeah,
person
there's
go
some
to
sign
say
respect
and a
to
person
give to him
husband
now.
you dey follow talk.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yeah.
If person husband no get sense, you no get sense. You get. So my point, what I'm trying to look at now, I'm going to get married. I think it's a beautiful institution. I've seen my friends. I've seen what
Jesus'
marriage has
name.
done to my friends.
In Jesus' name.
They now
amen.
begin to have sense, right?
All right.
So I've seen that. I've married people around me, and trust me, from what I've seen about marriage, it looks so beautiful, right?
Thank God
But the
for
point
that.
I'm trying to say is, can't we separate people from the title? I don't know if I'm beginning to make too much sense. And that's what I'm trying to say. Can't you address people the way they are? Can't you look at
For
a
who they are.
for who they are? Can't you look at a married man that does not have sense
And say you don't have
and
sense.
say you do not have sense and not say I foretell him or I would
But
have
because
told him
he's married.
because he's married? Or you are looking at a lady because yes, a real example. I'm not going to call him. There's this lady that did a whole lot of rubbish to me. I think those behind the camera know the person I'm talking about. The producer, you know what I'm talking about. And this person, one day I was parrying like, see today, today I'm going to scatter everything. And he called me outside. This same guy here that's behind this camera now. He called me outside and he was like, don't do that. And I'm like, why? Do you know the only reason he gave me?
She's married.
You know she's married. And I'm like, does that mean she should get away with the fact that she did not
That
have
is
sense.
why marriage is overrated here in Nigeria. See, do you know that this marriage of a thing is actually causing a whole
So
lot
if
of
that lady
trouble?
was not married, I would have been able to do what I want to do, and it's normal. But because she's not married, so if you not do anything, like why would you talk to a
Mr.
married woman
Victor,
like that?
let me even shock you. This marriage of a thing is actually causing a whole lot of trouble for our young ladies that are still single. You understand? There is this, I don't even know what to call it now. Recently, my friend don't marry.
Yeah.
Now me be the next. There's this, hey, now me, that kind of pressure, and it makes a whole lot of this our young ladies run into. Let me not just categorize just the ladies, but I think the guys, but it's minimal on the guys. It's more pressure on the ladies,
because now it seems like there's this unseen marriage time that keep moving for the ladies.
If this time pass, if I know married,
you are this amount of age and you're not married, and everybody now start thinking maybe she gets character behavior, or maybe it's a spiritual behavior, or maybe people want to tag a problem to why would the lady
something
be
is wrong
40
with
and
this,
she's not married,
and she's looking
forgetting
so
that maybe
beautiful
she
and
just
good.
don't want to marry,
So
she have not met any guy that have sense.
They see that being married. That's why we're having a whole lot of marriage issues in Nigeria, in quotes. Okay, just like last year, I heard that they released the number of divorcee and divorce list, and it was crazy.
Is
Crazy
it for
much.
the world or Nigeria?
Nigeria. It was
crazy.
It was much. And if you actually really check, you will see that it's not the money, or
it's just the fact that some people run into
Some
that
people
marriage
run into it
to
just-
have that title.
yes,
And now they now discover that
married.
title did not really complete them.
That's why I say it's overrated. When they now get into it, they be like, okay,
So
I'm
now
married.
So now
okay,
this marriage.
okay,
So
okay.
is this the marriage that
So-
everybody's saying about?
1, 2, 3 months, they be like, okay, so what else now? Nothing else.
But for me,
And they're out.
Let's see.
For
Let's
me.
see. Let's hear him.
I'm always the controversial.
He's the only one that is.
No, but for me,
Okay.
it's not like what every other person is saying is a lie. It's the truth, right?
Okay.
It's what's happening and it's what's applicable. But I feel that there are things that have happened why we are gotten where we are. Now, let me give an example. There's a disconnect from our parents' generation to our own generation. Now, let me explain what I mean. Let me explain.
Like a wire cut.
Let me explain. So, when our parents got married, we were not there. They got married. The divorce rate then was almost not visible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Like that period, if somebody is divorced or more, they commit one kind major atrocity.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay, finish.
But now that happened, many of our parents did not tutor us into marriage.
At all.
But
Yes,
I
that's
think you
true.
still have your line of thoughts. Let me just break it. Just holding today.
Okay.
But do you think that does not still buttress my point that marriage is overrated? Because what I think most time when we say our parents stayed married, it's not really like they enjoyed
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
staying married.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just because marriage was or
Seemed
marriage
like-
is
yes.
overrated then, and it looks like a taboo that you are coming out of marriage. Everybody look at you in the village like, hey, that one that cannot keep a wife. But now people begin to look at it as it's not a big deal.
I don't
can
care.
still not be married
Yeah,
and
still
have
live
a
my
good
life.
life.
Yeah.
So now people are beginning to see CEOs that are not married, that are divorced and still do business. But before then, if you are not married, you're like you are.
Yes,
Right. So that's what I think. I think there's too much emphasis on people staying married.
it's really overrated.
Well,
Or people staying married.
Let me say
Not
something.
stay married, like the title married itself.
Okay.
Sorry, I take that back.
Okay.
I think we should even draw a conclusion on this topic, if you ask me, because it's not debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we've said here, we're all, even Emeka, who is not agreeing with this debate,
I'm throwing towards the line.
is finally coming into our
It's sliding, it's doing more work.
Do you get now? Here in Nigeria, because this is where I live for now.
For now.
Do you want to leave us?
Want to jackpot?
My
One
brother.
jacka.
Well, for now, this is where I am for now.
Hey.
Okay, there's a lot of respect that comes when you're married. There's a lot of attention, and a lot of people are
Accolades.
expectant.
People now begin to think you are not responsible.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I think we
yes.
need to draw a conclusion on this topic, because if you ask me, we see it in our everyday life, in everyday society. that marriage is overrated.
Of course.
Marriage is overrated. I've given you one or two. I can give you
Back to
You can
back.
give me 15
Different-
points
different-
with
back up
with tables and
yes,
graphs.
to back
where
up
necessary.
what I'm saying. Marriage is actually overrated here in Nigeria. Okay, let me give you another scenario. A situation whereby, for example, Emeka mentioned the royal family. You said if
You're not married. You can
if
be
you're
a
not
real.
married, you can't you can't even hold.
Can't be yes.
I agree with you. Now, here in Nigeria, for example, I'll give you a scenario. A lady, for example, who is due for marriage. A lady who is due for marriage, and then your mom comes and says, you need to get married. That pressure comes. What do you think the lady would be thinking in her head at that time? A situation whereby she listens to the society, she's pressured to get married, and at the end of the day, she will take the wrong decisions. She might decide to delve into things that are not
Not even necessary, just to accomplish that mission of getting married.
just to satisfy the pressure coming from the family. So that's what I have to say.
So can I even ask?
You can ask.
I don't actually want to, when you're talking about this, I was trying to think deep. What is the reason for living? And as a Christian,
Living what?
living,
Okay,
normal.
living.
Okay, living. Okay, being alive. Okay,
Yes.
existing.
And another thing is, as a Christian, this marriage is of a thing. Is there any place in the Bible where God said, if you're not married,
you will not make heaven.
you'll not make heaven?
So that's like our
And I
destination,
could remember the major word that was spoken from the beginning was, "Go ye into the world and
multiply. He didn't give us
And
criteria for
if
the
I would
multiplication.
ask, I'm not trying to
You're not-
deviate. You
yeah.
understand? Was Eve married to Adam, or God gave Eve to Adam for multiplication's sake?
Okay.
But I don't want to go there because
Let's not
I
go
think
there.
marriage is overrated. That word marriage. I think I don't want to
Because
go in a way you start seeing me as one bad.
Because that's why that's why I asked you that question. That's why I
Yeah.
asked you that question when you said as a Christian marriage, and I was like, really? As a Christian,
Okay.
was there really a place that they say go marry?
No,
Or
but we
do
have
we
Christians.
translate like we have always translate so
Yeah.
many scripture to fit into
No.
our society?
No, even Paul in the Bible, he said something. I might not quote it right, but he said something that if you cannot, whatever you cannot stay away from, whatever you cannot handle, stay away from. Paul
Okay.
wasn't married. The first pope, he wasn't married. You
Yeah.
understand? He wasn't. So he never got married. But he didn't. He never discredited people that you understand got married. Now, even in the Anglican, even in Christendom, there are people that are referred to as monks. You have
choose not
them.
to get married.
They choose not to get married, but they would. You understand? Stay away from things. Do you understand? That are for married people.
Because even our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is not married.
He never got
And-
But he
married.
wasn't having sex, bro.
Well, let's not
Do
go
you
there.
know? But let's not go there. I'm sorry.
Is Jesus you're thinking of with Jesus?
No, don't join my head with this. Don't join my head, please.
So the thing is, the Bible that we read and
Don't join
believe
my head,
and
I
understand
beg.
never stated that Jesus got married. Jesus was not married based on
Yes,
what
right.
we know from the Bible.
Yes.
So that brings my whole emphasis of marriage being overrated. Because if Jesus that we are following did not get married, and we know Jesus did not leave earth when he was 18, so we say
33.
maybe he's not mature enough to get married. He was actually mature, because they said he died at the age of 33 and a half. This is not to give
Probably
any-
if he has stayed,
this
he
is
would
not
have
to give any
gotten
excuse
married.
for those that have not gotten married anyways. But that's to say that even without him being married, he still was able to accomplish
He actually
purpose.
came for a purpose.
Yeah,
His
actually, yeah.
purpose was not to come and get
Married.
So what is your purpose?
His purpose was not to come and get married. He came for a different.
But is our purpose to come and get married?
Yes, it's your purpose.
Our
to
own
come and get
purpose,
married.
like
That was why-
at the marriage, what's your purpose in life? What is your purpose in life?
Let's get this right.
No,
marriage
bro.
is
What is your purpose?
marriage is
It's
important.
How did marriage? This marriage that you married now.
Marriage
This
is
marriage.
important.
Mr. Victor, have you forgotten we're on the same page? Why are you attacking him like that?
No.
Marriage is important, bro.
How did marriage?
Do you want your
How did
family
marriage influence
Do you
your
want your
purpose?
family lineage to be shortened?
So your
Must
own
there be a
is to
marriage
be-
for you to
You have
reproduce?
yeah, you have to reproduce. You have to.
So
must
is
there be a marriage?
The only criteria for reproduction.
According to the Bible, yes.
You want to adopt? No, you can adopt.
According to the Bible, yes.
Yes.
According to the Bible, yes.
Yes.
Was Eve married to Adam before they reproduced?
So now you're talking about these were the first people that ever existed.
No. He said
hold
according to the Bible.
Hold on. When let's go back. Okay, let's go to the Bible now.
All right, go.
When God created Adam, there was no Eve. The Bible
So
stated
want to believe that
he
is-
saw
that union was the marriage.
he saw that she was
perform any
that
rites?
he was lonely, right? And removed a rib. Do you understand?
Okay.
And that was how they came.
And they
And
came
dashed
together.
him a woman.
Now let me explain something to
So
you.
my point-
marriage, you know,
my point
marriage.
with you, Emeka-
You know, marriage
Emeka, you
is
see, you
man-made.
just came back to what I'm
Wait,
saying.
No. Hold on.
So
hold on.
Emeka, my point with you now is, I believe in the union
Yes.
of a man and a woman coming together.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah.
must they be
Under
married?
God.
Must they be married?
Under God.
Under God, yes, under God.
Yeah, that
But
is you
must they
getting
be
married now. What else do you define as marriage? You think it's until maybe
So,
you do a white
sorry,
wedding?
Sorry, Mr. Emeka.
See,
Mr. Emeka,
when
so that
you-
what you're trying to say, that means if you just see a man and a woman, even while you were cutting, that means you're married already then?
No,
So
there is no
So-
agreement
agreement how?
between
Explain to
them
me, sir.
and God. There must be an agreement. There
So
must be
now,
a
if I meet
joint-
if I meet a woman,
yes,
And I on your
and
own
we agree,
and tell
Yes.
God.
and we now go and meet God and agree
Okay.
with God.
with
and
a
we-
priest
Yeah,
present,
married.
you know, right?
Okay, now
Must there be a priest?
Must
Yes,
there be a
there must be a priest.
Was there a priest in the time of Adam and Eve?
They never born me this time.
okay,
know.
I think
Now,
I
let
think
the Bible
this
tell me.
this last part of my arguments, right, is just to get you to say something. So I really understand what you're saying, the whole scripture and all that. I'm a Christian, so don't quote me out of context. I believe what you're saying. I believe.
Sorry,
before
I
before
believe
you
if you are
come,
going to get married, you have to do it right.
Yes.
Right? My only challenge is the fact that even when you've done it right,
Okay.
does that automatically change who this person becomes? Does it automatically give him some value? Because it's the audacity for
Does
me.
it?
It's the audacity for
When
me.
you say giving value, what do you mean?
Okay, let me explain what I'm saying. It's the audacity for me, especially this is common with ladies. You see them,
ladies,
you see them in the office, right? Where a lady that 2 months ago, you guys are communicating or you are saying some things, she will barely say 2 things. So she probably did not even have much idea. And she got married. And you're talking and she's saying, please wait, let me tell you something. And you're like,
She starts seeing herself
what is
above
wrong
you,
with
yeah,
this girl?
immediately.
Or a guy that's your friend, you and this guy will not know, where
Guy.
his IQ is when it comes to decision making. Now he's married and you guys are saying something, say, guy, cool down, might talk to you. See,
I'm more experienced than you.
You know, when I was not married, and I'm like, is it normal?
So there are 2 ways to answer this question, right? It now depends on if you're talking about someone that has been for a while, right? So if somebody has been, there are some situations that you might not be able to give or address because you've never been in that situation. Like let's even leave someone that is married. Let's say somebody is dating somebody for 5 years. You are dating somebody for just a year. The person that has dated person for 5 years has more experience on his own than you that is dating for person for 1 year, and he can just shed at least a little light on it, but not to be boastful about it. So I think the problem and why these things occur, first of all, I feel it's an inferiority complex thing. First of all, is inferiority complex because because marriage doesn't change you, it grooms you. Marriage grooms you either to be better or to be worse. That's it. It will not change your personality. It will not say, I used to be an outspoken person before, I'm now married, I am now soft. No, you can't hide that. It's a mentality, it's a trait, it's a character. So what you can only do is, if you talk plenty before, now you will now mind how you talk. Does not mean you stop talking.
Why is it like
because
that?
you're married.
Because
why do I not need
That's what I'm saying. Yes, what I talk. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's way overrated.
Why? No, bro, he's trying to make us understand.
Yes, he
we
wants to
understand
take us
you.
back to- yeah.
But calm down. Why do I? Okay, I'm Victor.
Okay.
I like to talk
I used to
and
play with my friends.
and
We used to-
say guy alpha.
Yes, what's up?
Yeah.
Now I'm
and say
married.
guy alpha, what's up? Now because I'm married.
And I say,
like that.
yeah, good
No,
morning.
no. That's not what I'm saying. No. You are taking me out of context. See,
Yeah, okay.
we've been friends for too long, right?
Yeah.
Now, does not mean that you call me up, yeah, come and hang out, and I will start giving you excuses. Then I would not even put in consideration our friendship, because before I got married, we were friends, or we have been friends. So now it is for my spouse to understand where I am going to.
All right, Emeka, look at this.
Do you understand what I'm trying to
Let
say?
me give you an instance. This one happens. You understand? You know, like our wives, they normally tell you that you know that you are now a married, man. Why are you still following those same single friends? As if those ones.
Guy whisper to me, I didn't call him my name. They used to say, why you still
You know, when
I'm
your
like
wife
the
starts
single one,
sing,
yeah.
you know, there are some single guys probably you stay.
Okay, I'm
you
not
do
part
business
of
with,
that single
and
guys.
you hang out with. Now because you are married, your wife starts seeing you as if
You are still
I
not
don't know.
responsible.
You are not
don't want
responsible to be
grow
with
up.
them again. Probably they are irresponsible now, and you are responsible. So you have to, you have to leave them.
Okay,
Or
let me
stay away from
let me
them.
answer a very personal question. Steven, what is that one thing you think has changed since you got married? That one thing you think probably you've enjoyed or you've suffered from this whole marriage status of marriage being added to Steven?
Nothing has changed. I'm still the same Steven.
Are there any benefits that has come with marriage societally, the way people look at you, the way people view?
First of all, nothing has changed, and any benefit that has come, is it benefit? I would just say respect, and people give you audience, more. They want to listen to you, but actually nothing has changed.
So that alone is a change, because normally before people know they listen to you.
If you ask me, nothing has changed actually. Like me personally, I'm a very playful person. And I'm still the same person after marriage. So I don't think there's anything that changed. Because if anything has changed, I'm sure someone would have said, guy, now what for you? Since when you get married, they follow us, they do. I've never had such. I'm still the same. In fact, people even ask me that, I thought you were married.
I thought
you were married.
Why are you?
Still,
Everybody do like married man.
Why are you still doing this? Why are you still playing like?
Okay, so if you're saying that nothing has changed, that means you can identify those changes if you see them. Do you have samples or examples of people, friends that you can say, okay, marriage has actually changed?
People from my circle.
Yes, from your circle that you can see marriage has changed. It might not really be your immediate circle, but people people that this is this guy before like there's a before and after.
Well, in my circle, I can count married people. I can count married people in my circle
That are not looking married.
So let's leave it there.
For me, if you ask me that same question, I would say my before and after is probably before I was not this big. And
So your before and after is just a physical change.
it's just a physical change, and well, it's one thing is if your mind is actually set on something, on achieving something, no matter what comes afterwards, it will look like to you. You already prepared your mind towards it. You understand? Like personally to me, before I got married, I told myself that this and this is what I'm going into, and no matter what, I'm not going to take this action or this action. So no matter what comes afterwards, I'll be seeing it as if just they play. They play. Except the thing you say and play. You understand? So my mindset is I'm here.
Your policies
You understand? Yes, I'm here.
Benjamin's principle.
Exactly.
Not
So,
now
but if
marriage
it's me personally changing, no, I'm not changing. I'm still me.
Yeah,
I'm serving unchangeable God. So what would I
for
change?
me, I think it's still the same thing, because marriage doesn't. For me, it didn't really change much. It only just made me observant about a whole lot of things. Do you understand? So, like, I would always want to, that subconscious thing where I'm trying to be me. You understand? The playful, the joyful part, and it just kicks in that you're married. You understand? Like there's some kind of things that I would want to do normally, but it would just kick in. But at the same time, I will still do them. So, but I didn't change friends. I didn't
as
change,
much as to say we've not changed, because I believe marriage is a different
stage in life.
It's a stage in life. It's like an
Yeah.
upgrade
Yeah.
to whatever version that you have already. You're on 4.2, you're now going to 4.2.5.
Yeah.
So now, are there some basic things that are supposed to change, like a preparation, like preparing the mind of somebody that is not yet married, that okay, marriage will do this to you. When somebody say this will humble you,
I
like,
think
is there some things that marriage would normally, naturally do to you, a young
it's
person?
still there's still no straight answer for that. It depends on the individual, and it also depends on the person. Individual, and
I think it will. I saw this guy yesterday. I was with
Sorry.
I was with okay.
Let me
please.
help you. Let me help answer this your question. I think the only thing that would change is the way you speak, actually.
Exactly.
Because when you were single, there's a way you talk. You know, when you're around guys, when you're around, there's a way you talk. But once you're married, at least you will censor some kind of talks, how you speak.
Or whatever you say might be used against you.
actually
But
might be used against you.
mind you, is it based on where you are.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
the
It depends
circle
on
of people you
individual,
are
circle
with,
of people.
oh.
Your comfort zone, like your guy.
When you're with
That's what
your
I'm
guys,
saying.
so you can still
I
talk
said
anyhow
it
you like.
depends on the individual, and it also
But-
depends
but
on the scenario.
Do marriage make people more responsible? Because talking about that, I thought it was yesterday that I saw you now. That you that you went to the supermarket to get some stuff. Because there and then, trust me, reality check, because I saw him yesterday and I was like, okay, you still remember the podcast we are meeting today? And he was tired. You were coming from beach.
Yeah.
Right? And this guy still have to go to the supermarket to get baby food and all those stuff. And I'm like,
Is that the aspect of responsibility?
and I
you're
was
talking
like,
about?
see, trust me, I know this guy. If you're not married, you go.
My brother.
See,
I go
Because
buy
now
things-
baby's at home like
no.
this.
The
So I
thing-
think it brings out some level of responsibility. Now you know you are no longer responsible for just yourself.
yeah, of course.
Right?
of course.
Because if it's just for yourself, you're like, I'm hungry but I'm tired.
I'm gonna go
So
sleep.
I pick which of them. I'm hungry, I'm tired. Man, I'm
If
too.
your baby is hungry,
what
But if your baby is hungry,
what,
you
what
are-
of it,
you
what
can't
of it,
sleep.
what of in the aspect of there are some guys that can cook, and there are some that cannot cook. There are some that I am married now, I have to learn how to do. See, in my own case, in those aspects, I am who I am.
No,
What do you mean?
but I just think
When-
that
when-
will not be
it's
100%.
because when
I
you're
think
talking
people-
about
I think marriage will
responsibility,
definitely change
I'm
something.
talking about responsibility, in my own aspect. I am who I am. You understand? So before we got married, my wife should know that I know Sabi do this thing. So no matter how probably Nami go do am, I already told you I don't know how to do it. So you can't, because of I am married now. You say you are married now, you have to.
No, what I'm
You
saying,
become,
what
I am who
in
I
the,
am.
In the context of what I'm saying about him, it's not as if he's now trying to do things he cannot do.
Because you said you saw him yesterday.
It's just that
unlike
things
he
that
was
he
going
would
to buy.
normally say overlook. So now marriage will not make you see that okay,
For the fact there's someone at home you have to cater for, even if they're
he's not married.
not married,
Because there's
your
somebody.
sister is at home or your younger brother is at home, you will still do
so
same
now
thing.
it's not like a marriage.
brother.
It's
responsibility.
not like
It's
don't
like
call
a
it
responsibility that has to happen.
It's the
Yes.
main thing that should happen.
Okay, so on this note, I think we've been able to agree and disagree on so many aspects. But the one thing I think we have agreed, even if everybody not agree, I agree on your behalf, is that marriage is overrated.
in Nigeria.
We agree, right?
In Nigeria.
In the world, marriage is overrated because sometimes
In the
your
world.
value is being placed about. Is it? You are saying something
Don't say
like.
in the world though. You've not
Okay, I've not
actually
been
seen
to every
some-
part of the world, so I'm taking Nigeria as a case study.
Nigeria.
So sometimes you are saying something and somebody else, oh, he's making point. I'm like, is he married? Not married. I is even sure what he's even saying. Like, okay,
Doesn't have experience.
it doesn't have experience.
Especially if you're Igbo. Especially if you're Igbo. There's some meetings that you cannot have, even if
No.
I old pass you, because
They will tell you you're not
No,
married.
nah, you start
Stand
your
up.
age starts when you're adult. Everybody now becomes the same age.
Yes.
Then they now
When
start
you're married,
calculating
yeah.
age from marriage. So every adult is the same age. Then those ones that are married are now older
Older.
adults from the rest of this. So on this note, we call it. We wrap it for this episode of Now That You're Married podcast. Until we meet again, the message from here is stay marriageable, right?
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace out.